Fire Company. City of Reading at one time had 14 separate fire voting districts. Each fire company was they were the highlight of the community. And everybody, if you weren't a member of the fire company,
Yeah, he knows a lot.
in 1854, and it was formed tomorrow. The engines went out on 5th Street, okay? Sometime near the turn of the century, they tore that building down and they built this building here, okay? Then as the fire trucks got wider, the doors there, they couldn't handle them anymore. They couldn't back up the new fire trucks. Gotcha. Then when electric got to be a thing and then the roll up garage doors, they changed them all.
Cool.
But the fire that is now, of course, the other side of the bridge. There's a station there, right where Moore's Diner used to be.
You know what that is?
Right? They wanted to get rid of this building, so we had sort of inherited it, and this is where our museum is. So, we'll start here.
Jeremy took the probies.
This is what they call a hand pumper. And what happens is, at a fire, you would have guys pumping up and down, and other people carrying buckets full of water put in here to pump water through that nozzle.
Holy cow.
And it was not very efficient because it depended on how fast the people were putting water in and how many guys were pumping. So this is just an example. This probably was in some kind of a manufacturing plant for their fire protection.
So maybe for the 275th anniversary, I'll have you drive me because I drove you for the 250th.
And this is the same principle as that. And here are the sides where the guys would pump like that. They would get guys, say 4 guys on each side, and they would pump for about 15 minutes. And by that time,
It's exhausting,
they're
yeah.
exhausting and they have to change. So you had to have guys that would pump this to get water on the fire, and then you had to have guys drag hoses to put the fire out. So it was really manpower intensive.
Yeah.
Back in those days, each of the fire companies had a ton of people, as you'll see as we get up further in the tour. They might have had 100 people. Now today, you go to the average fire company, they're hurting for 3 or 4 people. Especially the volunteer companies. The company I worked with, when I retired, there were none of us that were paid. Now that, they carry 24/7, 3 shifts with 3 guys.
Oh, wow.
So they have coverage. And the sad part about it is, as the career staff went up, volunteer staff went down. So, and that's a shame too, because we had some very, very good volunteers.
Yeah.
But they expected, when they ran to the firehouse, they expected to get on the fire truck. And if you had paid people there, the truck was going.
Yeah.
And they got there.
Yeah.
But this is a big copy of this. Same thing. And again, the water was put in here. Now, this particular unit was in Philadelphia. And in Philadelphia, they had underground water lines. So this is why this is here. Up here at Reading at this time, we had to resort to the buckets again and put the buckets
Bucket Brigade.
right in here. And again, same principle, they would pump back and forth. So,
1790, oh my gosh.
and this is the bigger nozzle, bigger unit. But again, it was still pulled by firefighters. Now, it's 6 blocks between fire stations.
They pulled it as well?
And they pulled
They didn't have a horse or anything to pull?
No, the horses came in when we went over there by the steamer.
Oh, okay.
That was a little bit heavy compared to these things. So they had to get horses involved in it. So that was started at the turn of the last century. Up in through the 20s, and then they got motorized apparatus and they got rid of the horses. So, but there was no place to put fire hoses. So they had to have a hose wagon to pull the fire. And here are the ropes, they would pull these ropes out and get personnel on either side of these ropes, and that's how they would get this to the fire.
Holy cow.
So, I always say, back then firemen were real firemen.
Yeah, I bet they had huge rippling muscles from doing all this labor. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, and today, push a couple buttons, lay some hose out, and we're flowing water. So it's nothing like it was back in the day. This is a collage here, and it shows some of the firefighters. Now, some stations, like the fire company, they put a collage out every year, and you had to buy a raffle ticket to get your picture in the collage. There were so many people that wanted in. So this is the same thing
That
here.
is amazing.
This is the Rainbow Fire Company, which is the oldest active volunteer fire company in the United States. Now it's all career now.
That's so neat.
Stuff, and this is pre-Revolutionary War stuff we're talking about. What would you think at that time would be the most expensive bags? And they would also, over here on the corner, you see it right here, it was a bed key. They had to take the beds apart. You couldn't take the beds out the front door, just like today you can, because the beds are too big, so they come in and they would take it apart. And at that time, the bed was the most expensive piece of furniture in the house.
I had no idea.
But here you have an old bucket. Everybody would have their name put on the bucket, and everybody was required to have at least 2 buckets in the house.
Oh, you had a bucket in your own house. The firefighter didn't bring the bucket. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
they were the firefighters. They brought the buckets, but every household had 2
Also
fire
had.
buckets. So they could do one of 2 things. They could, when the bell went off, church bells or whatever, the signal was that there was a fire on, and get to a place where there was a pond or something, and then they'd form a line to the fire and the bucket brigade and pass the buckets back. So at the end of the fire, they had a big pile of buckets. So everybody had to have their name to get their own bucket back.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, that's what back in the days. We have a lot of school kids come in, take tours and this and that. We sit them down and go over some stuff. So we formed a bucket brigade, and they do go through the motion there. And the other thing we did, we got some 1-bys and simulated them.
Wow.
pumping the hand pump. Just so they got an idea that you just didn't turn a switch or run a valve open and you get water.
Holy cow, that's funny.
One of the things in the fire service you'll find, and I'm sure you're finding a lot, every fire company has their own distinctive badges. And every fire company has their own distinctive patches.
Oh yeah.
So if you multiply that by the thousands of fire companies across the United States, there's one heck of a lot of badges and a lot of patches. And they also, every time there is a convention, housing of a new piece of apparatus, the host fire company gets together and they sometimes have a parade, other times they just have a festivities. And each time they have one, they have these ribbons that they hand out that you were at such and such a fire company, such and such a date, and such a day. So like I said, between ribbons and the badges and patches, some of the old I have because of the helmets. About 25, 30 years ago, you could have bought one of those helmets at a yard sale for $10.
Wow.
Today you can't touch them. And again, like I say, I said today's volunteer fire companies are really hurting for people. Where you would have a house fire, you would have maybe 2 companies respond. Because of the lack of manpower in the volunteer system, you might have 4 or 5 companies to respond. Not that you're going to use all the fire trucks, but you need the manpower to really put the fire out.
Yeah.
So it's one fire company.
Oh my gosh. All the people?
Yep, all those people. And each fire company had a band. If you look there on the right-hand side, there's a bass
band?
drum. They had their own band, so when they were in a parade, they would keep in step. That's how they started performing. And the bands really took off. So, if you look here at the trumpets are the same thing value-wise as the hats.
I've never seen the
15,
trumpets
20,
like that.
20
yeah.
years ago, you could pick one up for $10. Today you can't touch them for under 100. And the principle there is the chief would yell into the small end up there, and it would amplify the sound. And back when they used those, they didn't have a lot of diesel engines running and all that sounds
So it would be
and
loud
everything
enough.
today.
Yeah.
So it would be loud enough he could get his orders out and everything. So yeah, pick especially one of those engraved trumpets.
They're pretty detailed, yeah.
And they were all handmade. So, oops. Again, badges. This box in the back, and we'll see more of those when we get upstairs, was a membership box. If you would apply for a membership, they'd pass this box around, and we'll open the one up upstairs. There's either a black marble or a white marble. So you put it in there, and they pass it around to all the members, and they slide that over there. And if there's more like 2 black balls in there, that you don't get nominated to get into the company.
Oh my God.
And that's where the term blackballing.
Oh, I had no idea. Yeah. He's been blackballed, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And who put the marble?
The members. Each
members
member,
would-
each member would vote. They'd pass it around in the meeting.
Oh, okay. And if you said out of all the marbles that are in there, if there are 2 black ones, then you don't get it.
Well, some was only one in the company. How many, black balls or white balls are needed?
Yeah.
So, but again, some more helmets. And these helmets here, the Oakbrook and the Unis are this one's actually a polycarbonate and a plastic one,
Oh, okay.
and this is still a metal one. Now, the metal ones lived a short life because the electric lines ran
yeah,
on
that wouldn't
top
be
of
good.
the houses. So if they were up there working, cutting a hole in the roof or something like that, and came in contact with one of those wires, they could get electrocuted.
And I would think that they would conduct heat too, right?
Yeah, they didn't last very long.
Yeah, the metal ones. Oh my goodness.
See now, this is the Oakbrook Fire Company over in the 15th Ward. Right now it's a bar and grill. And this was the
You know where that is?
the smallest fire company in the city of Reading. And that's all the people they had. Now see again, they had a marching band there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So, but that was the membership that they had at the smallest, like a suburban company. Now in the city of Reading, volunteers, they had an outfit called the Firemen's Union. It was made of all the volunteers. And when a chief's position would open up, those people would vote on who would be chief. Campaign posters up here and what have you.
Oh my gosh.
So that's how, then back in, that all stopped. There's no volunteers now.
So no voting involved.
Yeah, no
Just be
voting.
hired. Yep.
It's all civil service now. Picture down here is the last 5 chiefs of the department.
Wow.
And they're all past chiefs. The current chief wasn't in the picture here.
Okay.
This is a very interesting window box here. This gentleman was the last volunteer fire chief in the city of Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh.
And that is his portrait. That's his trumpet that he had, that his helmet, gloves. That's his parade hat.
Oh my
Besides
gosh.
having the
That's
regular hat,
incredible.
they had parade hats. And again, there was a lot of parades.
Yeah.
When I got into fire service during the summer, there was probably a parade every weekend.
That's incredible.
You know, people would.
Not you
a
would
com-
love
Yeah, a company would buy. Is all the volunteer fire pictures of all the volunteer fire companies in Orange County.
Oh my gosh.
Now, if you look here at number 24, right there, 24, that's the fire company that I started with. That's why I'm missing. And
It looks like it's under somebody's house.
yeah, they had, when they started the fire company, they didn't have a building.
Holy cow, that's
So it was
incredible.
in a member's house.
Oh my gosh.
But take a look. Some of the buildings are very, modern and brick, stone, whatever, and others are just like farmhouses. So, but this
Or garages.
garages, yeah. So, and you can see all the old fire trucks that each one had. So, and again, the badges and the patches and all this kind of stuff come up. Plus, we have a lot of different fire department badges. Each officer had a separate badge, and each member had a badge. So when you add those all up, and again, here again. And when we go up the steps, you'll see there's about 3 or 4 pictures like this. That's one fire company.
That's
But
big.
today, that number of men is probably, I live over in Shillington area.
The goodies. Dedication.
Have something I got to waste. We're in a scuba team,
Oh my gosh.
search and rescue team.
That's cool.
And it was based out of here, and they had what they call a lark, which is an amphibian that has wheels to drive in the ground, and also to go in the water.
Oh wow.
And
That's
they used
neat.
that for a lot of rescues, just like what happened, it's like a lot of things, it was all volunteers. All the volunteers who were active got old and retired.
I think it's that right there, right?
Yeah.
There it
that's
is, the
right
Lark,
there.
LARC.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a new.
I think I'm going to grab something to drink if you don't mind. Is that cool?
Right ahead.
So it's pulling out all in the frame. Because it's really grand building, not the disease.
The sirens that they had around the city alert people that there was a fire.
Oh my gosh.
We even have for young
Service. I worked the first night that these went into service. In the middle of the night.
Oh god.
In comes the longest number of digits for a Game Boy box. And I'm on the switch. I don't have to tell you, do it.
That's going to be.
Probably not.
Because they never heard this before.
Holy cow. Wow.
We had the so the people that across the street didn't bother them at all. It was
Yeah.
the people that lived up in the hill that got blasted with it.
Yeah.
This steamer should be in the other room. This is
So the steam gave the energy to do the pumping.
yes, steam pump pushed the water out of the fire hose. And this is where they put the coal. They threw coal in there, cooked up the water in there, turned to steam, got gauged the pressure there.
Looks like the fire's still lit under there.
Yeah, there's a little,
That's cool.
but this is something. A matter of fact, you can't see it now. Here you can see part of it. We had a horse hitch to put in the front of it. And we got a bed.
Because it's way too heavy.
Yeah, when this came in, this is where the horse into the fire service. And this was definitely too you have to turn these wheels to keep it in back of the panel there.
I saw it.
That's all it wears.
Cobblestone or dirt street with potholes. There's no seatbelt. There's no
Well, at least there's some suspension. I said at least there's some suspension on it, so it's not going to
Yeah.
hurt too badly. But yeah, these are unforgiving.
There's nothing to hold about in.
That head pumper.
Pulled it out of my car and put it in my
That
bike.
building Buzzard Street in Philadelphia, South Philly. You know they had cobblestone streets.
By the way, this was the same period of time he does,
Yeah.
you know, nuclear defense.
I was telling John, you were definitely super fit because you were forced to be super fit.
Well, to pump this, it was 10 guys each side, 50 strokes per minute. Think about it. If you work out.
Pass out. Let's go.
Wheel. What the heck is that? Oh, that's probably for the pump.
Carried its own fire hose, and if you walk down that way, it had its own pump. The pump was driven by the same motor that took the fire truck to the fire.
It's crazy.
And on this board was all the calls that they would run depending on the fireboxes at the corner. Somebody would run to the corner and they would open this up and they would pull that down. And this is 3315. It doesn't show in here. It's just on this one here.
But tell where it was.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Look at this tape coming out. This is 124. 1, 2,
4. Oh my
rings
god.
3 times.
Oh my god.
And
That's
we
incredible.
use this bell because this bell will knock your socks off. You could hear
It says do not pull.
you could hear that up the street. The firemen will come down, they'd see 124, they will come up here.
Oh, it's a 4th and
124 is
Spruce.
the 4th and Spruce. So they know that they go out on that call.
Is that's the number of the box over there? 124.
Yeah, this box is 124. That box does not hook up to anything.
Yeah. Very cool.
Some hose around the back.
Yeah.
Here it has a pump driven by the engine.
Yeah.
by the fire. So they got rid of all that stuff over there.
And put it all in one.
Put it all in one.
Yeah.
And over there. So, and again, all
And no more horses involved.
no more horses. That was the big thing.
Yeah. You know Battalion 11, Battalion 8? Yeah.
What do you notice? What do you notice different around the cab up there and today's fire apparatus?
It's not enclosed.
No, yeah, it's not enclosed. That's one. But what about the steering wheel? At that time, a lot of the fire trucks were made in England. Not that this wasn't.
Okay.
But they got the design over here, and they started putting them out in hand drive. Until they got into it a few years, then they changed it. Now this is our pride and joy. All three of them enjoy. We got a call one day. The guy that owned this did a frame-up rewall. Changed everything. It's brand new.
It's so beautiful.
And
Look at it.
he wanted us to buy it
Huh.
because it was a city running fire. A lot of money for it, which rightfully so. They sold two. Yeah, this was probably cost $4,000. Well, they tear it here. Matter of fact, you can see the pictures here. This is when it was in the city of Reading. And you can see the time when they're doing restoration on it. So, but the nice thing about this and the one over there, we're at the pump. Everything is exposed. You can see, well, you know, the water goes in here, comes in around, and comes out here, and what have you. Today's pumper, everything's enclosed.
Yep.
And you gotta take the panels off if you wanna show what's on the inside. And it's harder to teach someone how to pump a fire truck if you don't look at the inner workings
Right. Yep.
for the truck. So,
That's pretty cool. You can see everything. We can take ours on. She's fine.
Okay.
She'll be fine.
now this is this engine room. You can see the double doors up there. Yep. Up there, you can see the pillar coming down. Same engine room, except that they had the steamer and the hose cart, and you can see where the horses came. And at that time they had, when the alarm would come in, the latches on their trough there would open up, they would come in, come out here, and they'd stand right in front of where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
This picture is this engine room.
Oh my gosh.
And they would stand there, firemen would load the harnesses, they would hook them up, and they'd be out the door. Now, very close, you see that one wheel, the two wheels. You see there's rails on the floor. Horses were very good pulling out of the fire station. And they would get on those rails there.
Guide it. Yeah.
So yeah, the horses didn't back up there. This week we're on. Matter of fact, I'm having a guy come in Thursday. A couple of the seals didn't match on the transmission earlier. So he's not. I'm down here and replace them. And the reason he's going to replace them, one, we're going to have this person have to be inside. So the second thing is, when you have a large seal, we'll take this to about 4 That's the last horseshoes, the last horses that were here. Now, the horseshoes weren't chromed when they had them on, but they chromed them. When the horses passed on, they put the tails on.
I was wondering what they are.
Yeah, my daughter and I were on the horses as she was growing up. Every time you had to put a horse down, the vet would have would go put the horse down and you put the tail on. And she would braid the tail. My daughter was 15 in the tails and the bits they had to put it on. Every time, say the Liberty Fire Company would have a parade or a convention or something like that, everybody that was invited to come, you know, that was a gift. I mean, how much do you think that in the days? Well, to give you an idea of the size of the building. And originally when the building was built, it was only 2 stories. So they wanted to have a 3rd story put on. So what they did is they got together and all the different trades. So they got together and they built the 3rd floor on here.
Oh my gosh.
And at that time, there was a siren up there before the 3rd floor was there. They had to take that and reposition it. So yeah, they built the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
If you look, this is the original members that in 1865 started the fire company. And they're in their, take a look at their dress uniforms, you know, with the stovepipe hats the capes,
Gosh.
the coats, and the pants and everything. And that was their parade uniform, or that was their formal uniform. And again, company, and that's a small company, considers not that many men, but there's enough men there as opposed to today's standards. Back in the day, were very ornate too. They had the glass, windows, picture windows, and everything, and it really looked nice. Today, the firehouses are just built
On, the equipment and not
Yeah, exactly.
ornate details.
And the equipment, you buy a Class A pumper, you're talking almost $200,000. A ladder truck is almost $400,000.
Wow, you're getting them cheap because the ones that we've seen, they're. I mean, I can understand why, but still.
Everybody, they had a parade belt.
Oh my gosh.
And here the uniform of the day, the red shirts and the blue pants. Now remember, outside there in that one photo box, they had all the county fire companies, and they all had motorized apparatus at that time. So now let's step back a few years. Here all the city fire companies are, and they all had horses at that time. If you look at, notice they have 3 horses in that because of the extra weight.
Wow.
But, usually it was standard 2 horses for pumpers. This is a hose wagon, basically 1 horse. The chief had a chief's buggy with 1 horse. And a lot of times the chief and his family, usually just his wife, would live in the firehouse upstairs. So the good carved ladder steamer and firemen. If you look real close at the different firefighters' faces, they're all different. So the guy that made this
1882.
modeled the faces of the firemen that he worked with, or he tried to. So, but like I said, everyone was different. I don't know if you noticed in the scuba team in there. This is the same thing here. What they did is they had a pin there that they put and hooked up a yarn to it. If they wanted to get something across, it's like a river, they would shoot it across. The guys on the other side would tie that rope on and tie a heavier rope, pull it back.
Oh my gosh.
Then they would pull it across what they wanted to get across.
That's smart.
That was only ever used one time. But again, see all the badges up there they have?
Sorry, go to again.
And take a look. You take a trumpet like this, see the hand card engravings on there? Can you imagine a leather fire hose and it got wet, how heavy it was? This is called a Chemox mask. And in that red container, there was layers of charcoal. And in the bottom there was a piece of tape that you would rip off. You put the mask on. The air, outside air would come down and would filter through all that charcoal to take out all the contaminants.
That's amazing.
But it didn't take out the carbon monoxide and it didn't take out the carbon dioxide because they floated through. So it lived a short life. A lot of the firemen at that time, that whole unit weighed 14 pounds. They replaced it with a unit that weighed about 35 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not heavy at all.
Yeah, so they were not too happy with that. It took a while to get used to it. I don't know if you remember, this was back in 1985. City of Reading YMCA. If you're familiar with that, up on Washington Street. They had somebody set a couple fires in the basement. And by the time the firemen got there, I ran through to the lobby area, and they had a staircase going up to the upper floors. where they had people living with a victim. And they got hit by a fire front coming up that was just like a chimney. Fire was coming up, killed both of them. Paul Hoffman and Terry Royce were about a floor and a half above them coming down. They got hit. And if you look at the picture, Paul is sort of a beefy guy. He was at a point there on the staircase, the wall, and here it was a panic bar, and he got kicked out on the fire escape. Reached in, grabbed his partner, and pulled him out. That's the only way they survived. So, this was Donald Jacobs' axe that he was carrying, and that was the air cylinder that he had on his back. So, City of Reading Fire Company has been very, very fortunate over the years. Very good record as far as line of duty deaths. There wasn't a whole lot of them.
Good.
Stuff, but it's getting harder to get. This is the window case we have. These people here were in Flight 93 that crashed out in central Pennsylvania, killed everybody. And this is actually a piece of one of the towers.
Oh, wow.
What they did is they had to get rid of the stuff. They had to cut it down in workable pieces so they could take it to the scrapyard. So we were able to get that. So some of the other things we have here.
I got a call, Gemma. Sorry.
Huh?
This is a part.
Lived down south of Reading, and over the years collected a helmet from each of the city fire companies. And the city started with one with the Rainbows, 2 of the Juniors, 3 of the Never Sank, 4 Friendship, 5 where we are is Liberty Fire Company. And everybody was going in style until we got to the Reading Hose. They said they were the #1 aerial company, and then the Keystone said that they were the #1 aerial company. So it just messed everything up until we got up here. They had 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 was the Oak Brooks, but they didn't have this type. Whoops, I'm sorry. This is one of the gifts that the Liberty Fire Company got from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. You see it underneath the frame is. And this is a picture of our members up there in uniform. This is a redone, refurbished water bucket compared to the original type water bucket in the back.
Also, building built in 1854.
We just had an anniversary, and they had festivities down here, so we put this window case up. This is all from the Rainbow Fire Company. See here,
Cool.
plaque with all the firemen here that served in World War II.
Oh my gosh, wow.
For people they had. This was Liberty Fire Company went down to Wilmington, Delaware. And the nice thing about fire companies in the city of Reading, they had the Reading Railroad. So if they wanted to go somewhere, they'd hop on the train.
Yeah.
And at the turn of the last century, the city of Baltimore had a fire that destroyed probably half the city. Call and everybody come. City of Reading got a couple flat cars, put some steamers on it, a couple box cars for the horses, a couple passenger cars for the firemen.
Oh my gosh.
Took it all the way down to Baltimore, and they got to Baltimore, they unload their equipment, get it all ready, the fire. And at that time, they didn't carry adapters to go from one to another. Today, if you look at any pumper in this area, there's a cabinet where they have adapters, because today we have
learned.
different threads. So there's a national standard thread, which they had. There's the Reading thread, which the city uses, iron pipe threads in some of the old manufacturing.
Oh, okay.
So we have 4 different.
Not one just yet.
Not my lifetime. The fire companies were like the focal point of the neighborhood. Well, this is where they would have get-togethers. They had weddings up here. They had bar mitzvahs up here. The carpet that you're standing on is well over 100 years old,
Yeah.
and it's still in fairly good shape.
Gosh.
But this is where they had their gatherings and meetings.
Very neat.
Not this trumpet under glass here. This trumpet was made from melted silver dollars. Oh my God! Which is highly illegal.
They did it anyway.
They did it anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Things. Now, this tea service came from a gift from another fire company. I mean, what do you think something like that costs today? I mean, it was probably expensive back then. In New York State, and he came back with an ostrich egg. That feed about 6 or 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to eat that ostrich egg now.
No.
So, again, some more gifts from different companies. This is the one I like. This is from the Atlantic City Fire Department. It came up, I don't know, for some kind of festivity, and here it is. If you look at the steamer there, this is actually a working.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and this is the picture of the guy that made it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So we never try to do that because. We just ended up getting from one of the local fire companies. They wanted to get rid of all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Be surprised, and
That's beautiful.
It's disappointing to me that a lot of fire companies, the average volunteer, they wanted to get rid of this clock, so I found a home here.
Heck yeah. That's really neat.
No, it was never a working fireplace.
Oh, okay.
Just in there for decorations. Again, some more tea services. You know, they used to use the trumpets for communication. Officers will usually carry something like that with flowers in the parade.
That's funny.
There's one in the meeting room and one here. And one of my long-range goals is to have a guy come down and get him in working condition. Although probably I'll be blackballed out of the organization because every 15 minutes he'll be gone. Again, more tea services, punch bowls. Now this painting here, this of the steam. This was a picture of the last current engine, and it obviously couldn't fit in any of those doors, so that's where they built the other side there.
Gotcha.
Now that engine's across the bridge over in Lancaster Avenue.
Yeah, this is really fancy.
You can see like this one here is banged up a little bit, but most of them, again, they're talking $300, $400, $500 for each trumpet. So, well, let's go straight across the hall. They used to have a meeting once a month, and now there's not a whole lot of members that are left. So they're lucky if they have one. Well, they had the last one they had was about a year ago when the fire company owned this building, and they turned it over to us for a year.
So, 2005, 18 years ago. Oh no, they have other ones, 2015. 2019, last time somebody wrote in that one.
All right, I had a page here. I don't know if it's this one or not. Yeah, see, here's the membership roll. Like, you got your name on there when you died. What was that? Resigned, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Deceased. Now, but take a look. I don't know. If I was a secretary in an organization, I take it home, I sit there by the computer and I type it up and what I hear.
Yeah.
This desk is a six-person, one unit altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they didn't take it up the staircase. So what they probably... So again, here's some more collages are. That collage over there by the door is my great uncle was in there.
Cool.
That was the turn of the century. The voting box.
Oh, there it
It
is.
was passed
Yeah.
around to all the members. If you wanted the guy in, you put a white ball in there. If you didn't want the guy in, put a black ball.
Blackballed him.
So it came back to the president. The president would shift over here and say, oh, there's 3, 4 black balls there and 1 white ball. So the guy didn't get in. Now again, today, that's highly illegal. 5 of these from different city fire companies that had them.
Yeah.
Each fire company has a lot of sports teams that are there. So it might be a pool tournament, it might be a golfing tournament, dart contest, whatever. And these are some of the pictures that they had.
Thank you, John.
We're up here, and there'll be a fire downstairs.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
The steps and kids, what is that?
Yeah.
I said, it's a telephone. Yeah, but it doesn't have any dial. So I had to explain.
That's in-house, right? Or is that when you just call the operator? What are these glass orbs?
If you could go to probably some of the basements in the city of Reading, you'd probably find something like that. And if you look, there's a fusible link, just like a sprinkler head. So if there'd be a fire in the basement, this would be up in between the joists. Fire in the basement, that would link, would fall down, break. It has carbon tetrachloride in it.
Oh, wow.
Which is a very good extinguishing agent, with the one exception. The fumes are poisonous.
Oh, wow.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
We had one youngster who was a member of Sousa's High School Project.
Oh, neat.
But back in the day,
Oh, that was nice.
there was 60, 70 people up there.
Down there, I can do that.
Then they changed the numbering from 8 to 73. Then we merged with 3 other companies, so that's the latest patch right there.
Neat.
When they were here, so they gave each company a picture like that.
That's neat.
And again, you see there, remember the picture down?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I remember this from downstairs, the one with
Yep.
the carbon.
That's, yep. And the last, that's probably the oldest one. It was a steel cylinder there, and this is an aluminum composite. I got into the fire service. That's what they had. They had steel cylinders. And they were
really
heavy.
heavy, yeah.
So the stuff you carry in your pockets, and if you carry a belt, and on your back. So over the years, they lowered the weights on the cylinders. So,
That made a big difference.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Now this is what we call a rebreather. This was the Navy has a lot of these, and basically it takes your exhaled air. There's still some oxygen left there. They scrub it, pour oxygen in, and you rebreathe that.
Yeah. So it lasts a lot longer.
Lasts a lot longer. It says all of these, they say, okay, that's rated for 30 minutes. But depending what you're doing and the frequency of what you're doing, it's
You're
gonna
breathing a
depend.
lot harder. Yeah, you're
Exactly.
drawing in
Even
more.
That 30 minutes might be 20 minutes. And what they had to do, and that's the inside of an aluminum cylinder.
Oh, wow.
And you can just look at them. If I'd have them out, you could feel, you know, the lighter one is the aluminum one. But the problem with this would rust on the inside.
Oh, okay.
So they had a process where they put balls in and they rolled them around, broke all the dust out, and then sucked all the dust out and reused them. So,
That's incredible. Oh, okay. They're
and
beautiful.
two guys came in a pickup truck. And I worked with the third downstairs and in the living.
Oh, there you go. All right. These things are huge
Yeah.
and heavy.
So Jerry says, how about I put new covers on, new baskets and everything? Didn't charge. So,
Love it.
one of the things that I was a little kid and I lived in a fireman's parade, and it's back in the days of the steamer, so it's the turn of the century. Look at all the people that are lined up on both sides of the street.
That
You
is
know,
amazing. What street is that?
Penn Street.
Oh my gosh.
That's they have.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a marching group at West Wyoming. If we had 10 guys in the group, that was so. But then, consider this: they didn't have TVs, they didn't have this, they didn't have a lot of stuff to go out to. So
Yeah.
the parade was a big thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
On the other side here,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. The guy was a fireman in New York, built these.
Mm-hmm.
He came down to a some kind of a festivity up just west of Reading, and just for like a week and for about 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
So we get a call one day, and they describe, yeah, we'll take them. And we put them. Remember I said that the firemen back in the day would get in the train and go.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to see where this picture was taken. So,
Wow. Let's see. Hold on, let me just get a light on it.
yeah, somewhere in Pennsylvania.
And don't look at this. Don't look at the sign. With the big rock there behind.
Esther in Gettysburg. And this is the tree that when Lee started forming his troops the last day on the march to take over. So right where the Union line was there. And of course, well, you know the history is they never made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ask everybody if they know where that is. This was the only station in the city of Reading that did not have a pole.
Oh, this is not a real pole?
Oh, it's a real pole,
Okay.
but it's just set up as a mock-up.
Oh, there's nothing
We
underneath?
got our hands on this, the pole and everything. So I said, well, we're going to put it up, and just to show people that, yeah, this is the pole. The person's coming down
yeah.
right on top of you.
Yeah, we've seen, he showed me videos of people coming down. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, those deafening bells, right? The really loud ones.
I have no idea where we're
That
at.
cabinet is
I've never
amazing.
seen this.
Oh my gosh. It's probably really, really old.
Yeah, this stuff was loaded with stuff up here before we did the downstairs. Again, every picture you see.
Get going, John. My daughter's gonna be reaching out to us shortly. And I think he wants to go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was great. Really appreciate you taking us. I think there's one tour behind you. They're on the side.